Yes, that is one and only Tesh Carter. The name of the song is Lagos Girls, and it's always jamming right here on the Black Hot Fan Network. Tujadili 254. We apologize for the bit of a hit right there. But nonetheless, we are back with the good vibes. We were talking about Burkina Faso, and we shall also be casting spotlight on Senegal and Egypt, as these two countries are expected to actually go to the final. And actually, you know, the contest will be between these two countries. For me, I think maybe Egypt does have potential to actually sail through. Senegal is also not an easy team, so over this weekend, I understand that people will really be busy looking out for that particular final. For Burkina Faso, they were also number 3 really, or number 4, because Burkina Faso did lose to Senegal, and Cameroon did lose to Egypt before, so that they now have the final between Egypt and Senegal. But all of them, Cameroon even is also a wonderful team, Burkina Faso is also a wonderful team, but not everyone will be number 1. You know, that is at the end of the day, that is the essence of a competition. Not everyone will be number 1. So for the sake of really like betting between Cameroon and Egypt, for Kate and Zobi, which team would you be picking between Cameroon and Egypt? For Kate, for you?
Cameroon.
Cameroon will actually Cameroon, no, not Cameroon, Egypt, Senegal and Egypt.
Senegal.
Senegal. Okay, you're not with Egypt. For Joby?
Senegal
as well.
Yeah.
So we shall actually watch and see how that particular happens. For me, I think Egypt will take it, but Senegal might also put up a good fight. If I told you what to put money on it, then you know, those companies that are involved in sports betting, they are really looking forward to this particular one and are seeing that maybe they bag or they take home big bucks. But anyhow, family, it's always a day to have you tune in. Today we shall also be discussing other different matters happening now with the world. And I was just saying that Burkina Faso has been saying to maybe perhaps go back into its in line with democracy, because they're saying that ECOWAS has now said that they have spoken to the military junta in Burkina Faso, and these Burkinabe army have said that they will be putting together an election timetable. And I was saying, for me, I do think that in as much as an election timetable will be put together, these countries do not even, they are not doing any good. So an election is very, very costly. Any country that is undergoing an election this year, you can look and see that the budget, it's very, very high, because you have to do the civil awareness, you know, raise awareness on the what is going on with the elections. Apart from that, you also have to put in place a free and a credible election, which of course is done by the Electoral Commission, and the Electoral Commission of course has to be paying, you know, a whole lot of people to go and sign up people or register people for election, and also conduct elections on the same day, and also continue with the tallying and the announcing. So it's difficult, you know. Any country, for example, on the continent right now, we do have Angola. It's supposed to have its elections. Kenya right here, it's supposed to have our elections as well. And as of yesterday, the vice president did come back from Dubai. I don't know if you guys have seen those memes. People were saying that, for example, for Ruto, who is the deputy president, when he gets a cold, he goes to Dubai. And you know, he actually can jet out of the country and jet back in the country just the same he wants.
I was not getting noted. Yeah. And yesterday also somebody told me that Museveni was here for 4 hours.
He was in Ngong?
Not in Ngong. He went to the State House, talked with the president, then he went back.
Oh, okay, so you might think that they are actually enemies, or they are pitched against each other. But for the people, the young people especially, the youth of Kenya, the youth of Angola, and any other African country that is expected to have its elections this year, please be wise. Do not be used by these people think that they are arch enemies. They are not real enemies. When you go to these places, the big hotels, where they go to do their meetings, you will find them laughing with each other. You find Ruto and Raila Odinga laughing, Musalia with Uhuru laughing, find Kalonzo with whomever you might think is an enemy to laughing, all of them laughing. But for the people out here, because of the media, you know, the media is used as a tool. And for this year, it's really interesting. I don't know if you guys have realized that for many media companies in Kenya, most of them, they are owned by a few individuals. For example, SK Macharia gets to own Royal Media Services. And for Royal Media Services, for SK Macharia, he said that for him, he will be supporting Raila Odinga's bid. So that means for him and his networks, most of what you will be seeing the coverage on his networks.
Even he helped Raila with his campaign.
Even with his campaign, yeah. Even
with the shows live where Raila
is doing the campaigns. More probably they have an understanding with Raila Odinga, because they would know that when he gets into power, maybe he shall offer them the same kind of favor back with with politics. So it's like that. Scratch my back, I scratch yours. That is mostly what you will find happening with these politics. But for me, I do think that at the end of the day, people might think that these elections are not predetermined. I think for me, in these elections, there is always a plan that has already been rolled out, and therefore, in as much as people will wake up on August 2nd, is it August 2nd or August 4th? August 8th, August 8th to go and conduct their polls, to go and vote. For me, I think most of these things have already been predetermined. And right now, what I do see is that they have not really announced their running mates. For Kate or for do you think will be running mate, for example, for Raila, or the running mate for Ruto?
Ruto is Waishongwa.
The guy from
I think from Kikuyu.
From Kikuyu?
Yeah.
Those guys are really, really fanatics. If you get to ask me, politicians are really funny. For me, I would think maybe Ruto's running mate would be perhaps someone from Central. Yeah, that would of course be why they would have. But I'm not sure whether he has real influence. When it comes to politics on the ground. If you ask many people, who do you know Ichungwa, people will be like
the other guy from is it Nyeri?
I'm not sure, but what has happened right now is that the Secretary of State, or the Secretary of State, do you call him the Secretary of State, or what do you call him, from the people who get to run affairs at White House? What has happened with him is that he has said that he will also be quitting his work, and when he quits his work, he also wants to go and run for governor in is it Tukambani? I'm not really sure. But what is happening is that many people right now, this is a season when people get to quit their jobs, and get involved with politics, and that is the exact same thing that has happened for many of these. So let me also get this particular one and what post he will be vying for. And also, I understand the former speaker Justin Muturi. He also quit. I think he is also now focused on. He's also focused on getting involved with politics. For me, I think Justin Muturi is a man who is he's wise the way he gets to conduct himself. He is really wise. Someone else that has also quit is Wavinya Ndeti has quit her Transport Cabinet Administrative Secretary as a CAS of Transport and Cabinet Administrative Secretary, and right now she also wants to get into politics. But the thing is, when people get into politics like this, when you lose that bid that you are going for, and you also quit your job, now what is the next thing that you would be doing? I know these people are normally, they are rich people, so they would not lack a thing to keep them going. But when it comes to politics, people quitting and people losing and losing their jobs, quitting their jobs, and also losing in the elections. It's crazy. But this is the State House Political Affairs Director did quit his job to join the Kiambu senatorial race. Wow. This is Nairobi State House Political Director Michael Waikenda did announce his resignation from government to join the Kiambu senatorial race on August 9th, the general election. They have said Waikenda served as a county executive committee member in charge of youth affairs, sports and communication in Kiambu before joining President Uhuru Kenyatta's administration, and he announced his departure on February 2nd, a week ahead of the February 9th deadline set by the electoral agency. And he said, "I confirm I have resigned from State House to run for the Kiambu senatorial seat," he said. And for me, I think when people quit their jobs and get into politics, most of what they want to do is really now get where the money is being shared. When you are now in a position of, for example, for a senator, or you're in the position of a governor, you are in the place where there is this allocation of funds, and maybe they are, you are in charge somewhere, and that is how people want to get involved with government in different political seats, so that they can continue doing corruption, or they can continue abusing our public funds. That is what I do see. So for all these leaders that have been named, the number one and the number two, who is Raila and Ruto, I do not see any change coming for Kenya in terms of the fight against corruption. I don't know what you guys' opinion are. Do you think Raila would be able to attack or handle corruption head on, or for Ruto?
First, even let me just from the November, there's a time in November, I don't know if it was in November, I remember, when he paid people, he hired buses and gave everyone 500 shillings from each and every county to just go to attend his meetings. So you have 500 bob for free, and you have free transport. So it's you wasting your time, just go make noise and cheer him. Yes.
No, it's in Kasarani,
So in this, just holding that particular meeting alone, trying to address is going to vie for president and all that, he has already promoted corruption by bribing people. You're buying votes. You're not supposed to do that. That is already wrong. For me, that is my own opinion. He's already failed. So there's nothing anyone can tell me that is going to change anything.
These people we have in line, they are all failed. I can't say there's a good person over there, because in the likes of Ruto, Ruto, if you talk about Ruto, he's the most corrupt guy here in the 254. And I'll not get into details. We also saw our own president in the Pandora Papers. So telling us that there's a good guy in those lines who's trying to vie for these seats. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie.
I agree with you 100% that most of what is going on right now, there is not real change. It's the same people. And just the same individuals corrupt a lot. But anyhow, family, this is the Tujadili portion, and we shall be discussing matters that have to do with money, life, and love. And there has been something that has come up on the news, which has struck a wrong chord with the members of parliament. And this has to do with the move by the Kenyan government to bail out Kenya Airways, and they have said they will be spending about 134 billion. It's supposed to go into 38 billion, not 134. 38 billion that is supposed to go to Kenya Airways to help these struggling airline because it's deep in debt. So what has been happening is that Kenya Airlines has not made profit for a long time. You still find people saying, "No, I work for Kenya Airways." It's not a bad thing to work for Kenya Airways, but this company, it went from is not making any profit for so long, and it has also been deep in debt. So they have tried to restructure. At some point, many people are laid off their work. People that were working for Kenya Airways, they were laid out and they were laid from work. So it means they could not, because of the big financial problems with this company, it had to build a lot of people in the restructuring program. All the time it was run by a man known as Titus Naikuni. I don't know what he does these days, but he was the CEO. And even in that time where he was there was an attempt to also bail it out. So this is not the first time this airline is being bailed out. But the problem is, they say that lunacy is doing the same thing and expecting different results. So if you come now and bail the Kenya Airlines with 38 billion, and the management continues doing the same thing that it has been doing, it means also 5 years down the line, we shall be going back the same bailing out again, and then bailing it out again, and again, and eventually it will not make any kind of a sense. We have seen companies being bailed out, but the thing is, there is mismanagement of these parastatals, of these corporations. I think it was privatized. The Kenya Airways was owned by the government 100%, but I think they privatized it. I'm not really sure. We'll be checking. Yeah, we'll be checking. I think it's 50% by the government, and also we do have another ownership by private corporations or private. It has its share, so they probably did privatize it, but I will be confirming. But what they are saying right now, the Kenyan government recently said it will pay more than $800 million of the debt owed by the national carrier, Kenya Airways, and give it nearly $500 million in budget support over the next 2 years. Economists disagree on whether the government is making the right move. For me, I think there should be structural changes as well. You're not just putting money and the other money that you put in is not also going. The government recently, go on.
No, I'm saying true. That is true.
The government recently said it will support the airways to maintain for 2 years to remain competitive. The government recently requested $800 million from the International Monetary Fund for the bailout. The state owns 49% of the airline. Yeah, so it's owned by the government 49%, and then 51% is private equity. And Samuel Nyadiero, a lecturer in the University of Nairobi teaching economics, says the government has no business supporting money-losing companies. That is what one of the opinion of a university lecturer of Nairobi. And it is not for the work of the government to subsidize non-profit-making entities. He said, instead, the government should try to privatize such kinds of bodies that are not able to stand on their own feet. So it is defeatist for the government to borrow money and start subsidizing a body like Kenya Airways, which has monopoly power in the market. This is just because of mismanagement. Yes, like I said earlier, if we do have the wrong people managing these state parastatals and people who are there to siphon as much money from these companies, then it means that we shall not be going anywhere. We shall be moving 1 step ahead, 10 steps back, 1 step ahead, 10 steps back, and I shall be like a whole complete.
I didn't get to see the news in the morning, and for me, how I figured it out, it's like we first look at the history, how it was launched, how much money was funded in all this, because we've seen so many of the properties we have in our countries, I don't want to say Kenya, but in our countries, are mostly not from our own money. You know, it's loans taken, and this has not started right now. You know, and it was launched that was in 1958 by a colonial governor of Kenya. You know, these are British, if I'm not wrong. So you can find that, you know, we're not, like, there's literally half it's ours, half it's not ours. But you find that literally like 60% it's not ours. So it's just a name.
It's 49%, so 51%.
It's just a name. You think it's Jomo Kenyatta or the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, but it's not his. He did not even contribute a bit of it. All he did is grab the land, give it to the Mzungu, and he was helped to do all this.
And for me, I think it's not really a right move, maybe, but they're saying that the Galbeats company has hired a consulting. They have said that the company recently commenced consultations with the likes of Asibari Consulting and others on how to restructure the loans. They are saying that this company has a debt stock of nearly $1 billion. So I would just like to understand how you move a company from making losses and having debts of about $1 billion and getting back on its own feet. That would have to take a miracle from Loliondo. You know, that is where the company, you send the CEOs to Loliondo and they come back with a magic water and sprinkle it on these planes for them to start making these $1 billion worth of debt to pay back to the financiers that they get to owe. So it seems for me like it's a lost cause. If you ask me, I think it might be somewhat a lost cause, but we shall be looking into it and seeing how this particular one pans out. I remember this is a Tujadili for sure. It's not a wrong thing. If at all we did have a courier or a airline which is really functional and it's successful, we would be proud. You know, they say it's a pride of Africa, but how do you have pride in a company like this, which is now messed up to a level where you know, it's $1 billion worth of debt. It's crazy, but anyhow, family, that is exactly what is happening. We shall be taking a short music break. When we come back, we also do have stories from Kate and Zobi. We shall also be talking about the richest man on the continent of Africa. His name is Aliko Dangote. What is he up to now? Because he's doing right by Nigeria, and he is continuing to become wealthier and wealthier, even more than he was. For now, we get back into music, and of course, this is Make This Paper, Make That Money. By the one and only Lex the Wolf. We are jamming.
Na 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 na, oh na 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 na, yeah. And my man say, what you won't do? Niggas they been acting up, and bitches they ain't cool. No go fuck with fake, cause them go only slide you. Don't focus on the noise, man, they go focus on you. Say them fit, slip up on you. I know me say you no get the power in you. I know me say you no feel where the crown boy do. I know me say you no feel where the crown boy do. Coming from the jungle. Mandala don't do me, make my money double. No get time for hate, I mean no want trouble. Keep my house clean and the house double. Say them feel, slip up on you. I know me say you no get the power in you. I know me say you no feel where the crown boy do. I know me say you no feel where the crown boy do. What you want to do when the struggle rough you? What you want to do when they hating on you? What you want to do when them sleeping on you? My son, my nigga, we gon' make this thing. What you want to do when the struggle rough you? What you want to do if them hating on you? What you want to do if them sleeping on you? My son, my nigga, we gon' make this paper now. My son, my nigga, now we gon' make this paper. Make them talk, I'ma sit back with my marijuana. Sip on my lane while I just deal with the money pile. I'm ready, never stop, just deal with the money pile. Purple rain and now I'm buzzing up. I'm the king and I ain't acting up. I can't choose no time to fuck it up. I can't choose no time to fuck it up. What you want to do when the struggle rough you? What you want to do when they hating on you? I'm gonna get what you want to do if them sleeping on you. My son, my nigga, we gon' make this paper. What do you want flow different. Some of them a disgust me. Most of them a disgust me. Shout to boy na pay the way. We music pay the way. Make man them understand. In a day of a baby. Hey, you won't do when this trouble rough you. You won't do when they heading on you. You won't do when they're sleeping on you. My son, my nigga, hey, we gon' make this better. Hey, what do you want to do when this trouble rough you? Hey, what do you want to do if them heading on you? I'm Benny, what do you want to do if them sleeping on you? My son, my nigga, hey, we gon' make this paper.
Yes, if you're trying to make that paper, better get on your hustle and some work right there. This is Tujadili for sure right here on the Blackbird Financial Media for the 21st century. And something actually came to my mind when we were playing that particular jam of making this paper. This has to do with the luxury and the lifestyle that people want to live on the continent of Africa. When they already have made their paper, they already have their money, and I was just checking into some of the most expensive hotels on the continent of Africa, and there are a couple of them I happened to come across. Just by the way, one of them is called as the one above from Cape Town, South Africa. There is also another one known as the North Island Villa in Seychelles. There is also Gongoro Crater Lodge in Tanzania. There is also the Lea Grave Estate, which is in Stellenbosch, South Africa. And the Granite Suits also in South Africa. It seems like if you want to live that life, the place to be is South Africa. Because out of the top 5, I did see like 3 of them are actually in South Africa. I think that is where people who are already balling or have made that money, which is crazy money, get to go to South Africa. I've not even seen one from Egypt. The other one is from Serengeti, Tanzania. It means that people also do get to go live that life when they already have made that paper. This is the Tujadili portion on the Blackbird Financial Media for the 21st century. We also do have news and updates from Market in Zobi as well.
Yeah, for me, I wanted to discuss about there is an issue where, or rather, I did come across a story where a friend was telling me about, like, when we're talking about the big Google shots, like what has been happening with the pandemic. So he did get to tell me that they work in the army, so about 300,000 people have taken this particular big Ugali shot, and right now I can see the same thing is happening in US, because the US Army has said if you're not taking the big Ugali shots, you have to leave your work and go back home. And it is a shock to me. Of course, I did get to talk about it, and Keith was like, it shouldn't be a surprise, because these people are evils. Like, these are people who are protecting the country, and of course the government knows the danger of what they are doing, but they still even attack the people who are protecting the country. And when we have matters like an attack has happened, we have less people to even appear in this particular mess that has happened in the country because of one, we lack an employment, but the same people are willing to kill you, or rather make you get unemployed because you're not doing what they want you to do, and what they want you to do is bad. It is crazy.
But I think that was an attempt. Even in the US, they had been given the Minister of Defense was saying that the officers or the army would have been given a deadline. I think it was in November something. I can't remember what deadline was given last year. But even when the deadline was reached, nothing really happened. So I'm just here to see what goes on with this. I do believe that people have the right to also say what they do not want. If you do not want to get the shot, please stay away from that. Stay away from that particular shot. General Mosili was saying, hey guys, I just creeping up in here for a few minutes. Thank you so much, Mr. Ike, for gracing us with your Ike Coffee for gracing us with your presence, most honorable General Mosquito. I hope that you're also getting yourself some $75,000 US to go get yourself some.
The last time I checked in 2021, you are the first time. I remember there was a time Kate and Keith were telling you to be generous, because since your name is General Mosquito, do you remember that time?
No, he had.
You might be waiting a long time for
General
to turn
there
into generous.
was something we wanted him to give us.
You might.
Yes, I hope in 2022 you're more generous.
You might be waiting a long time before General turns into generous. But thank you, brother, the honorable General Mosiro, for joining us and gracing us with your presence. But it's always a good thing when you are with us. Although we are almost coming close to the end of this particular broadcast, we have been discussing issues to do with Senegal. I do not know whether you watch sports, Mr. Mosquito. I don't know whether you are a sports fan. What team you will be supporting?
It sounds funny when you call him Mr. Mosquito.
I did not give him the nickname, but I was just asking whether if you do watch sports, what team would you be getting support? Are they Senegal, which is
No,
facing?
Mosquito said he doesn't watch football.
Oh, okay. Maybe he's probably watching movies over the weekend. We are also just checking out to see. Maybe Senegal might win, but for me, I think Senegal has a percentage of maybe 40 and Egypt 60. But we shall also be checking on to that and seeing how it goes down this particular weekend. But earlier on, we were discussing briefly also on the issue of Burkina Faso. They lost they lost to Senegal. And I would say it's because the force was also demoralized because of what is happening in their country. Though that is not a reason good enough, they will still have pushed and show the world that even despite these challenges in their country, they still have what it takes and even take it home against all the odds. I was talking about the underdogs yesterday, saying that the Gambia also did put in a good fight. Burkina Faso, Comoros Island, we did have Malawi. Even Malawi, I understand right now that the Malawi team, what was they rewarded? They were rewarded. The Malawi team was actually rewarded. I'm just trying to remember what they gave to the Malawi team because it has never gotten to the level it got this time. So they were getting special recognition by the president. I understand. I think that was the diaspora, people who are in the USA. They did see that the team had done very well in the Afcon, and they decided to also offer them big wins, big bonuses. And also the Malawi team did offer to big Afcon wins bonus. Malawi leader pledges cash reward for footballers, so they are getting love and support. The Malawians in the diaspora give cash to footballers, 2.8 million Malawian kwacha, which is equivalent to $154,000 from a group of football-loving Malawians, which is what was given. Each player pocketed 95,000 kwachas. In Malawi, I understand they also use a currency known as a kwacha. So if you are in Blantyre or you are in Lilongwe, you might be moving around buying things in a kwacha. So the team, the fans from the US did show them a lot of love and support, putting together this small kit, which is some sort of what can I call it? A token. Just basically a token or a tip, for them also putting up a very, very good performance right there in Cameroon. I understand that Malawi is a small team. I even wonder if we did have Malawi playing Kenya and Kenya losing, it would be really, really a shame. It's really, really a shame. But you would have that happen as well. That is a problem. So a group of football-loving Malawians based in the US have rewarded the Malawi national football team players total of.
But I don't think you guys are being hard on Kenya. I don't think Kenya is to blame because when you look at like Ukenda places come at ghetto, you'll find that if you go in the ghetto, you'll find that there are youths who are talented in football, but the funds which are given to help these people or that these kids grow or the youths grow in this particular project is being pocketed. So you'll be stuck in the same place. So you'll claim the country or Kenya does not have football. In every sector, you have a allocation of funds.
Yeah, but I remember, for example, even with the Olympics, the last Olympics, there was a minister of sports being sued simply because they pocketed the money. They were sent to go with the team to the Olympics, and then they pocket the money. So they are saying this Malawian team, it's known as the Flames. The Flames qualified for the knockout stages of the competition for the first time ever in their third outing at the Afcon, which is currently in the semi-final stages. They lost 1-0 to Guinea in the first match played on January 10, but recovered to beat Zimbabwe 2-1 on January 14. So you see, even teams like Zimbabwe and Malawi, they are there. As Kenyans, we are here seated and just zubaing. But anyhow, family, we are coming closer to the end of the broadcast, and Kate still has a story to share.
Okay.
But anyhow, family, we shall let Kate do her thing next week. For now, we shall just be winding up. And just getting in the weekend mode, because over the weekend people get to rest. I don't know what you might be up to this particular weekend. People get to rest and also connect with the family and
maybe we can share with the family.
I want to bam bam.
That is a bam bam, and bam bam. I hope it's jamming and dancing. But anyhow, family, thank you so much.
I'm just gonna be home.
Yeah,
chilled.
That's what's up. Just sometimes if people also get the opportunity to travel, it's also good to be able to travel a little bit and see what's happening. But for us now, with the Black Hot Fan Network, Tujadili 5 portion, we do hope that you also get to enjoy this particular exam that we leave you with.
It's actually known as Nimakukumbuka by the one and only Pharoahs from Zambia there. We do hope that awesome things are alright in Zambia.